Let's get the read from the former National Security Advisor to Vice President Cheney, John Hanna. What do you make of this, John?
Well, I think that the arrests are really just the tip of an iceberg, Neil. This is really something that goes to the heart of this new U.S.-Chinese global rivalry that I think we see emerging here. We are now in the midst, I think, of probably the most fundamental transformation in U.S.-Chinese relations since Henry Kissinger went to Beijing in 1971.
You know what I still have trouble understanding here is I thought as soon as the Chinese had released on bail Meng Wanzhou, the CFO of Huawei, that even though they were keeping her there, she has an ankle bracelet, all the work, she can't leave Canada, I get that they would be relieved and this former official, this Canadian official who they had apprehended, would be let go. No, they brought him to a different location. We don't know what that location is. And then they took in another Canadian. And that's already prompted a warning, an issue, a concern to travelers to China out of our State Department. You know, essentially, if you don't have to go there, don't. I'm overstating it. But what's going on here? Because I understand working on different tracks, but this could get nasty.
Yeah, no question. I think that the Chinese clearly want this card in their hand because they want this Huawei executive return to China, that they're going to exact a pound of flesh and demonstrate that they can go tit for tat with anybody that's going to go after the crown.
We must have very good dirt on her then, right? I mean, there's been all sorts of espionage and stealing secrets and all of that leveled at the company, and she is the daughter of the company's founder. But they're super concerned about this, almost way too concerned.
Well, again, I don't know exactly what they have on her. The charge is sanctions busting with Iran, and I think the administration is serious
Sudan
about
and
that.
Working with that. Yeah, go ahead.
But I think this really does go to this matter, that this is about more than Huawei. I mean, what the United and more than sanctions busting. The United States is now on a campaign around the world with Western nations not to allow Huawei or ZTE to participate in the next generation wireless technology, because of national security concerns. We are targeting some of the crown jewels of the Chinese economy, these corporations in high tech, the sector that is really going to be the main front of competition and battle with the Chinese over the next several decades. So this is a much bigger national security story about this new competition between the United States and China that President Trump, the first president in several administrations, has decided that he has to take seriously.
You know what's ironic here, I know my producers are probably screwing, we're going too long here, but the role of the Canadians who wanted to sort of buttress ourselves in the fact that they might not be dealing with the United States too much longer or as generously or kindly as they had before this latest trade accord, that they were hedging their bets and trying to increase that trade relationship with China. Now they're wedged between the two of us.
Yeah, no, the Canadians are right in the middle of it. Yeah. I would note, Neil, that in that new deal with Canada and Mexico, there is a provision that basically bars either Canada or Mexico from going into some kind of free trade agreement with China. So even China is the target within that new North American free trade agreement.
Wow. Well put, John. I always learn something. I appreciate it, my friend.